So, Ritika,
Yes, ma'am.
let's start with your introduction first. Just tell me about yourself, your education background, and what you have done so far. Okay?
Yes. Firstly, thank you for allowing me to introduce myself. My name is Ritika Bodhale. I'm born and brought up in Nagpur, Maharashtra. I have done computer science and engineering in SP Jain College of Engineering, Nagpur. I have scored 9.4 CGPA in 10th standard, 71.38 in 12th standard, and my aggregate score in engineering is 80.34. Uh, I have always tried to develop my technical skills, and my skills are Python, NumPy, Panda, machine learning, SQL, R, and I've used these skills to make several projects. My projects include project based on Python, data analysis, machine learning. Uh, I have also participated in Smart India Hackathon, where I was in top 3 in our college. So these all are my technical skills. Uh, Coming to my co-curricular activity, I like to dance. I also like to do video editing. And coming to me, I consider myself as a focused person who always work towards the goal. Um, and I am a team player and optimistic during tough times. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So, you mentioned you have done project in Python and machine learning, right?
Data analytics also.
Okay, data analytics. Can you tell me a bit about the project? What was the name of the project and what you have done in it?
In the first project, I have done the first project of Python. I have My project name was Random Password Generator, in which I ask the user about the length of password they want, and I generate the password using a random module. In my second project is rock paper scissors, where the user can play the rock paper scissors. I have simply used if else statement and made that project. My third project is tic tac toe. In that project, I have used functions, random module, and it plays with user tic tac toe. It is. And then my next project is on data analytics of e-commerce purchase and adult data set, in which I have downloaded the data set from Gaggle and analysis the data.
Okay, so you said you used functions in your third project. Can you tell me why do we use function? What is the purpose of using functions in Python?
We use function. Function is a set of code. When we have to use that set of code repeatedly, then we use functions. So whenever I have to call that, for example, if the user is playing tic tac toe, so whenever there is a chance of the player to ask from which from which tic tac toe there are three columns, three rows and three columns. So in which row and column you have to play. So then I ask them for which row and column you have to place, so that it directly jump into the function. So I do not have to call the same set of code repeatedly. That's why I have used function.
Okay, fine. Have you used recursive function ever?
No.
Okay, fine. So do you know what is a recursive function?
uh, I don't know exact, but I guess it is function calling function, maybe.
Okay, it's function calling itself in the function. Okay.
Yes, function calling itself in the function.
So you know list.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if I create an empty list and I want to add values to it one by one by taking it from user, how will you do that? Can you show me the code? Can you share your screen and show me that you have created an empty list and you have to take values from user one by one and it will be added to your list. Okay. Just
Okay.
add five values to that list. Okay.
Okay. Should I open Jupyter or in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
comment?
No, no. Open Jupyter only.
Okay.
Just share your screen. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It's taking time to open. Just
Okay.
30 seconds.
Okay, so here you can only add one value at a time. I said I want five values. So
Five
just tell
values.
okay, just tell me what will be your logic if you want to add five values.
Ma'am, I will use a for loop and add five values.
Okay, just show me how. Okay, good. You can stop sharing your screen now. So do you know what is dictionary comprehension and list comprehension?
Dictionary comprehension and list comprehension is adding the value in adding the different types of values in list and dictionary.
Okay. Uh, Name any five Python modules.
Math module, random module, uh, can
You use date time.
uh, time, date and time, uh,
Yes.
numpy and panda also.
NumPy pandas are the libraries.
Libraries, it's not module, yes.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, fine. Tell me, can we create our own module in Python?
yes, we can create our own module and we can import it to the existing script of Python.
Okay, and how do we create our own module?
Uh, Simply by writing the set of codes or a set of expression that we want, and then in our existing uh, script we just import that module and use those expression if we want.
Okay, but you are writing code in Jupyter now. Okay, so can you use that code as a module? Can you import that as a module? As a module, you just wrote a list code for list, right? Creating a list that was created and it was saved. Now I want to use it. Can I use it as a module? Can I import it as a module?
uh, yes, we can.
Okay. Don't we need that file to have .py extension for it to work as a module,
Yes, we have to save in .py extension and
right?
yes,
And the file you have just created, it has the extension of .ipynb, right? So it
yes,
can't be used as a module. The file must have .py extension. Okay.
yes.
Okay. So are you familiar with OOPS concept?
Yes, classes and object.
Okay. Just tell me what's a class and what are the objects.
Uh, Class is a blueprint from which objects are created, and objects are instance of class from which we can make multiple objects. For example, uh, if uh, if there is a building, like blueprint of building, so that is class, and we can create multiple building from that uh, blueprint, so that is object.
Okay. What does self denote? Self. We write self when we are creating a class, right?
Yes, self is a instance and or a constructor in class. Self is actually the first parameter in the constructor, and in init method actually, and that init method is called automatically, and self is actually used to refer the current object that is created.
Okay. Good. Okay. Last question from Python. What is pickling and unpickling?
Pickling is converting a Python object into string representation, and unpickling is retrieving it to retrieving back to Python object.
Retrieving back to Python object. Okay. So you have also covered SQL, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you tell me what are the subsets of SQL?
Subset. Uh,
Okay, as in data definition language, data manipulation language.
Yes, there are five types subsets of SQL. First is DDL, that is data definition language. Second is data DML, data manipulation language. Third is DCL, data control language. Fourth is DTL, that is data transaction language. And fifth is DQL, that is data query language.
What is the difference between primary key and foreign key?
A primary key is used to select a specific primary key
How do you set a primary key? How do you set a primary key?
ma'am, primary key in table is always a unique column. It is not repeated. For example, if there is a table, employee table, so employee ID is a primary key.
Okay. And what will be the foreign key?
Ma'am, foreign key, there can be more than one foreign key for more than one column. Foreign key usually have a link between another table, and it actually represent the primary key
Oh,
of another table.
okay, fine. Explain what is left join.
Left join, when we join the two table, so in left join we give the priority to the left table.
What do you
uh,
mean by priority to the left table?
uh, Means all the rows of the left table will be present while joining.
Okay, and what about the right table?
In right table we give priority to the
No, no.
rows.
In left join only, you said we give priority to left table. What do you mean by you give priority to left table? How do you give priority to left table?
uh, while doing left join we give the parameter,
Okay,
we give parameter left, I don't remember the name,
okay,
but
okay, fine, fine. No issue. Okay, so you have worked on pandas, right? NumPy and pandas.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so tell me what is series in pandas?
Series in Panda is a 1D array. It is basically, in simple language, it is just one column, uh, and it is 1D array.
Okay, and data frames? What is data frames?
Data frame is a 2D array. It is a collection, in simple language, it is collection of series. So there are many rows and columns. It is 2D array.
Okay. What is the difference between NumPy array and lists?
Uh, List is a collection of values having different data types, whereas in array it is collection of value having same data type. In list, the length of list is not fixed since it is mutable, whereas in array the length of array is fixed.
Okay.
And in list we do not have to import the module, but but in array we have to import a module to use nd array.
Okay. Can you reverse a NumPy array?
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, so you have listed credit risk analysis as your project. Can you tell me about credit risk analysis project?
In this project, we have predicted through the data set, we have predicted whether to provide the credit to the user or not.
Okay, and what technologies or what you have used in this project?
Sorry,
You
ma'am,
must
your
have.
voice is breaking.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I was asking what you have used, what libraries or what technology you have used in this project. You must have used machine learning algorithm, right?
Yes, ma'am. I have used NumPy and Panda
Okay,
uh,
for what? NumPy and
for
pandas for what?
data cleaning.
Okay,
Uh,
what did you use for data cleaning, NumPy or pandas?
Mostly Panda to drop some of the rows or to fill some of the rows which are
Okay,
missing data,
okay, and then
and also data visualization tools to and also standard scaler to standardize all the values,
okay,
and then machine learning algorithms.
okay. So did you use supervised or unsupervised mechanism? Which one was used?
I have used supervised, ma'am.
Okay, and which algorithm you have applied?
Ma'am, I don't remember it. I don't able to recall now.
Okay, okay, fine. Fine. Ritika, it was great talking to you. Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just a minute. Before leaving,
Yes.
you need to prepare a bit on SQL. Okay.
SQL.
In
Yes.
yes, Python you answered pretty well, but SQL you need to have some focus on it, and same goes for pandas and machine learning. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Roshni. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start with your introduction first.
Uh, Hello, ma'am. Um, Thank you for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself to you. I am Roshni Tiwari. I'm 23-year-old, recently graduated from the Priyadashini College of Engineering, holding a BTech degree in biotechnology. Um, I have worked with a Springboard company as an intern, as a data analytics intern, and
Okay.
performing some data analytics functions. I'm highly committed and motivated person and always upskill myself to do new things and to learn new skills in my life. I always try to bring my skills to help you to meet the company requirements. So that's all, ma'am.
Okay, so you have mentioned these skills in your resume. So is it because you're comfortable with this, you have knowledge of this, or it's because you have just learned these skills?
Ma'am, I have knowledge in these skills that's why I updated in my resume this.
Okay, fine. So you have mentioned two projects. So first, I guess, is it related to data analytics or it is your college project?
Ma'am, I updated two projects in my resume. First is related to my college,
Okay,
uh, which is um, which is related to tissue culture.
okay,
And the second project I mentioned is a machine learning project, predictive analysis, which I have done in my uh, in my internship.
Okay, fine. So let's start with Python first.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, so let's start with the data types. Can you tell me how many data types are there and how many of them are mutable, how many are immutable, and also what is the difference between mutable and immutable data types? Okay.
Okay. So, ma'am, there are so many data types in Python. There are tuple, list, dictionary, set, and boolean, string, int, float. That's all. And what is mutable and immutable is that the data types are mutable in which we can modify, add, and delete the elements inside it.
Okay.
And immutable, that is we cannot modify, delete, or update the elements inside it.
So is dictionary mutable or immutable?
Ma'am, dictionary the keys are immutable, but the values are mutable. We can change it.
Okay. Um, okay. Do you know what is docstring?
Yes, ma'am. Drawstring is like a comment which is enclosed by uh, three or not. It's not. Is performed like a comment. We can use this.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Docstring is like a comment
Okay.
which is which we can use for define some function with define some functions in the program.
Okay. So how can you distinguish docstring from comment? There must be some significant difference, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Or
Comment.
they are just practically the same thing? What do you think? There's a
No, ma'am.
difference or they are the same things?
They are not the same.
Okay.
I currently I'm not remember that particular difference what is between them. But
Okay.
the comment are start with hashtag,
Okay.
and this is not mandatory in the program. But if you want to implement it, you can use this. And the doc
Okay.
string, I
How do
couldn't.
you denote a docstring?
Um, the uh, doc string three there is between three dashes or and all, I think.
It's either three pair of three single quotes or double
Yeah,
quotes.
three double quote. No, three single quotes, I think.
Single or double quotes. Okay. And you can also print the docstring by using coding, but you cannot print the comments you have given in your program. Okay, that's the difference.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
So, can you tell me what is the difference between return and print?
Um, in return print, that we execute the particular sequence
Okay.
which uh, which which we want to in our outputs, and
Okay. Wait a minute. Let me give you one example. Okay, I have written a function. Okay,
yes, ma'am.
and in function I am writing return x. Okay,
Yes.
and before that I am writing print x. Okay, first I am writing print x and then I am writing return x. So what is the difference between these two sentences? Because in both I am printing x and returning x. So what is the difference?
Ma'am, in return it will return some value that we assign in function,
Okay.
and in print that will execute in output.
Okay. Can you use the return statement anywhere in your program?
Anywhere? No, ma'am. In function, I can only return the
Okay.
values.
Okay. So it should be like if you write a return statement in your program, then it changes your function, right? If you are just writing print, then it is going to move forward. But if I am writing return in a function, it is going to terminate the function. Okay. And the value of print, it is visible to the user, but when you are just returning some value, it is not visible to the user, or it is visible to the person. Okay, that is the main difference between return and print.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Have you worked on file handling?
What, ma'am?
Have you worked on file handling?
File handling? No, ma'am. Not, not now. Current.
Okay, have you learned file handling during this course?
Uh, File handling, no, ma'am. File handling, I could not remember right now.
Okay, okay, fine. So, can you tell me how to remove duplicate elements from a list?
Unique, duplicate values in list. We can if unique function is there in Python functions, we can use it.
No, I just want a simple answer. Okay, just I want to remove the duplicate elements from a list just using one line of code. How can I do that?
Duplicate. We can use sort functions. Um,
Okay, fine. What is the difference between list and tuple?
Ma'am, tuples are immutable and lists are mutable.
Okay.
Lists are enclosed with square brackets, and tuples are enclosed by parentheses.
Okay, is it necessary to include the tuple in a parenthesis?
Ma'am, is a no, but it's syntax, ma'am. Already.
Okay, so fine. How do you create a tuple with single element?
Ma'am, I can single elements. Yes, ma'am, I can update in single element.
Can you just
Single
show
element,
me
we
how
can,
to create a tuple with a single element?
ma'am, in single elements, I can wait.
Okay, just a minute. Let me give you an example and tell me if it is the right way to create a tuple. In meeting that I have given you one thing. Okay, I want to create a tuple with single element. Okay,
Okay.
is this a correct way to create a tuple with single element? What will be the data type of this TUP1? If I check the data type of this, what will be the data type of this? Will it be a tuple?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Can you see in the meeting chat? I have just sent one line. Okay, TUP1 equals to 5. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, what will be the data type of this TUP1? Will it be a tuple?
No, ma'am.
And why it won't be a tuple?
Ma'am, there is to be some another elements in the tuple.
So,
When we
means
enclose
I
by the
cannot create a
parentheses.
tuple with single element. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there has to be at least two elements in a tuple.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you share your screen and just show me? If I really want to create tuple with single element. How can I do it?
Um, Ma'am, I have to share my screen with you.
Ah, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So you will have to open some editor in order to show me. If you have Jupyter, just open your Jupyter notebook and show me.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, with the single elements.
Okay, just write A equals to 5. Okay.
Yes.
And now just show me what will be the data type of A.
It will show int.
Okay. So it will show int. Now I want to convert it to a tuple. So how will you do that?
So, ma'am, to convert it tuple, I have to add a comma
Yes.
after the element,
Okay.
and then add parenthesis.
Okay. Now check the data type of A. Do you know how to check a data type?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Tuple.
we can create a tuple with a single element, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, are you familiar with list comprehension?
A list.
List comprehension.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll give you one list and I want you to use list comprehension to multiply all the elements of the list by 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? I'll just give you one list. Okay. So your list has elements 2, 5, 6, and 9. Okay? And I want you to use list comprehension to multiply all the elements of the list by 2.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay?
2569.
No, I want you to use list comprehension.
Ma'am, follow. Okay.
Do you know how list comprehension works?
Um,
Okay. Fine, you can stop sharing your screen.
yes, ma'am.
What is slicing in Python?
Ma'am, slicing in Python, in which uh, we want in a we want in a particular sequence, we want.
Okay, fine. So you have worked on SQL?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me the types of joins in SQL.
Left join, right join, inner join, outer join.
Okay. What is the difference between left join and right join?
The joining in left join, the joining between the left table from the right table,
Mm-hmm.
joining between, and the right join is the joining between the right table to the left table.
Okay, so in both the cases you are joining the left and right tables, right? So what is the difference between these two? I can just use any one of that, right? If I am just going to join one table and another table. What type of result will you get? Okay, if I am doing left join, which rows will I get? Which matching rows will I get?
Ma'am, no duplicate elements in duplicate elements between the two tables.
Duplicate elements. Okay, so if you are using left join, then it will return all the rows from the left table
Left table.
and matching rows from the right table. Even though if there are no matching rows in right table, all those rows will also be returned when you are using left join and vice versa in right join. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What will be the full outer join?
Full outer join.
Yes.
Full outer full outer join, like we join the all data set.
Do we join
Uh,
datasets
no,
in
ma'am. No, ma'am. Joining the all the rows from from both the tables.
Okay. How do you deal with missing values in a data set?
Um, non values to remove to first to remove the non values in the
So
data
you
set.
will directly remove the null values, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you will not be using any methods to fill those null values.
Uh, no, ma'am. First, there are two methods to deal with the null values. First, if in the data set if one values is null, then we can delete it. But no, so many null values we can. The two methods that are we can delete it and we can fill it by using the mean of all the data sets in the
So if you are removing the null values, then how you are going to fill those values?
by putting 0.
But you have already removed the null values, right? You just said that we will remove the null values.
uh, no, ma'am, this means by putting 0 or by putting the mean of all, we can deal with these null values.
Okay. Why do we use numpy? What is the use of numpy?
NumPy is a Python library
Right.
used for multidimensional arrays and matrices.
Okay. How numpy arrays are different from list?
Num list are NumPy arrays like it is a array of sequence.
So it's just what you told, right? You just told me that multi-dimensional arrays, right? And lists are single-dimensional arrays. Sorry, it is single-dimensional. So that is the main difference between lists and NumPy and D arrays, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in credit risk analysis, which machine learning algorithm you have applied?
Ma'am, train test splits.
Trend split is not an algorithm. Why do you use trend split?
Supervised learning.
You are giving different answers. I'm not asking if you use supervised learning or unsupervised learning. I'm asking why did you use trend test split? What happens in trend test split?
In train test split, we split the data sets in two parts, in which we have to train the data,
Hmm.
and in test in which we test the whether the data is performed correctly or not.
Okay. And after that you apply a machine learning algorithm, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Means on that you apply machine learning algorithm, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So which algorithm did you use?
Uh,
Okay, did you use regression or classification?
yes, ma'am. In regression,
No, no, did you use regression method or classification method?
classification. No,
Okay, when do you use classification method?
to simply predict based on yes or no, and whether it's female or male.
So you can say that when you have definitive means you know that outcomes are going to be there are going to be two or three outcomes. You know the outcomes, okay? In
Mhm.
that case, you use classification model, and uh, when you are not certain what will be the outcome, Okay, there are no definitive options to that. In that case, you will be using regression model. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Roshan, you have to work on your Python skills, SQL, and basically you have to prepare more for this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if you remember the questions I have asked, just make a mental note of it and then read on it again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay. So, Prajwal, let's start with your introduction.
Ma'am, first of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Prajwal Gabne. I am from Nagpur, Maharashtra. I have currently completed my BE from GH Raisoni Institute, Nagpur, specialized in computer science and engineering. I have completed my 10th in 2018 from Prakash High School, Adad, with 74.40 percentage, and I have completed my 12th with Prakash Junior College, Adad, in 2018 with 62.15 percentage. Uh, my I have done one intern in Codegraph Solution Private Limited, where I have done one project that is Book My Doc, and I have currently done the intern in Springboard Company, Nagpur. So here I have done machine learning model, that is credit risk analysis, as I have mentioned in my resume. This is all about me, ma'am.
Okay. So, Prajwal, you have mentioned that you are a good team leader. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, can you tell me on which project you have worked as a team leader?
Ma'am, while in Codeograph intern, I have done the project that is Book My Doc. It is basically web application. So
Okay.
there we handled a front end part. We are in group of 6 member. So I have splitted the work accordingly. So for backend, I have given the task to 2 students, 2 members. For front end, we have me and my one friend. We have done front end part, and for the connectivity there are 2 members, so we have done in splitting. So the head of the project is me, ma'am, in that project.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So, can you tell me what is the difference between shallow copy and deep copy?
No, ma'am, sorry.
Okay. Fine. Just tell me mutable data types and immutable data types in Python. First of all, what is mutable? What is immutable? And the data types that comes under it.
Ma'am, list dictionaries are mutable. So sorry, list and sets are mutable, so we can mutables mean we can change the elements in the list, and
Okay.
immutable, so we cannot change the elements.
Okay.
It
So,
is
what are mutable data types?
it's basically on list dictionaries.
List and dictionary are mutable, right?
Sorry, ma'am. List and sets are mutable, and tuple and dictionaries are unmutable.
Okay.
Dictionaries we can only overwrite, only value we can change.
Okay. Uh, is it necessary to give indentation during coding in Python?
No, ma'am. It is not
No, it is.
necessary.
It is not necessary. The code will work fine even if you don't give indentation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Orientation.
Can you write a code for take a list and one by one show me list items. Okay,
Okay,
using this. Okay, and don't give any indentation in it. Okay,
okay, ma'am. So
and share your screen.
okay.
And I'll give you a list. You can take any list. I have just given you an example.
Wait a second, ma'am. How to share is share option?
There's a upward arrow
Okay,
that says
wait a
present
second.
now.
Okay, ma'am, it is visible.
Yes.
So first of all, I would have to take a list.
Yes.
Okay, this is a list. So what should I do next?
Now I want you to show me one by one elements from the list.
One by one elements.
Yes.
So
I don't want you to give any indentation, okay? And write the
ma'am,
code.
ma'am, it is not possible. I have to give
Why? Why?
indentations.
Why? But you just said that indentation is not
Ma'am,
necessary.
in the loops it is mandatory. It will automatically take the indentation.
But if you remove that indentation and write your code,
So
just give a
it will
backspace.
show it will
Yeah.
show an error, ma'am.
Okay. So it means that indentation is necessary, right?
Yes, ma'am. It is necessary.
So is it possible to give negative indexing in Python? And how does it work? If it is possible, then how does it work?
Ma'am, if we give negative indexing, so from if I give -1, so it will take the last element. So if we apply on this list one, if we give index -1, so it will show the 4.
Okay.
It will be 4. Yes.
Okay. So have you worked on list comprehension?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You can stop sharing your screen now.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Okay. So in Python, we say that Python is a dynamically typed language. So
Yes,
what does it mean that it's a dynamically typed?
ma'am. We have to write the code line by line, so it execute line by line code. If we write the main code below and the usable code at the bottom, so it will show an error. We have to write line by line, so it executes line by line only.
We always have to write codes line by line. Only that's how it is working. Asking what does it mean by dynamically typed language?
It is like inherit, ma'am, from the class to their object, so it is likewise.
Okay, tell me, do we have to declare the data type of a variable in Python?
Your data type of Python.
You are declaring a variable, right?
Yes,
Suppose you are declaring a variable C and it is going to have a value as 2. So, do you have to declare what's going to be the data type of that C variable?
no, ma'am. It will automatically detect.
Right, that is what called as dynamically typed. You don't have to give the data type of your variable. That is meant by dynamically typed. Okay.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
So have you worked on functions?
Yes, ma'am.
What's parameter and argument in function?
Um, there is init method, so we can directly add them, import the function, and we can use in the program.
Can you repeat what
Ma'am,
is function?
functions are the entity, ma'am. We have to add the classes and all that in the function.
How do you add classes to the function? Classes is a different thing, right? And functions is a different thing. You cannot
Yes,
add
ma'am.
classes. Means if I
Yes, ma'am.
ask you what is the functions, what is the use of functions, what will be your answer?
Function, basically we create a function, so we can use repeatedly the function in our code. So probably build a function and in the separate file, and we import only the file in our program.
Okay. Uh, how can you remove white spaces from the beginning or from the end of the string?
S- Sorry, ma'am, I don't recoil.
Okay. Okay, now if I want to add an element to a dictionary, is it possible? Can I add an element to the dictionary?
uh, yes, ma'am, it is possible, but we have to know the key for this. We can
No, but
override.
I want to add a new element, right? So how will I know the key? I'm adding a new element.
So it's basically both the key and value we have to add in it.
Okay. So how will you add? Suppose I have a dictionary. Okay. It has like names. Okay. I want to add one more name. Student names. There are student names. Suppose from different section. I want to add one more section and then name. How will you add that?
um, with add method only.
Okay. There's an add method. How does it work?
So
Fine. Have you worked on SQL?
yes, ma'am, a little basic knowledge I have of SQL.
Okay. So if I want to connect a database, you must have done some exercise, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you connect it? Means in Python, how do you connect it with your database? What is the connection string for that?
It is with or stable has to connect. Sorry, ma'am, I don't recoil, but I have done.
Okay, fine. How many types of joins are there in SQL?
It's of three types, ma'am.
Okay, what are those?
Uh, Inner join, outer join, and full outer join. And again, okay.
Okay, is there anything else in outer join?
ma'am, in outer join, no ma'am, I don't recall. Sorry.
Okay, fine. Okay, do you remember inner join?
Yes, ma'am. In inner join, what happened if we took two columns of different datas, so it will first print the left side left side data, and it will fetch with the right column data. So if it is present, so it will set accordingly. If there is not present, so it will leave as it is blank.
Okay, so your answer should be if you are using inner join, then you will get only matching records from the both the tables. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
wherever there is a matching record, only those records will be shown in your
Sure.
result. That is your inner join.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and there are left join and right join. Okay, that are outer joins.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. What is NumPy?
NumPy is a numerical Python. Basically, it uses on statistics.
Used on?
Statistics, that is arrays.
Okay. If I want to know the shape of an array, what can I use for that?
Uh,
Okay, tell me what is the shape of an array? NumPy array.
NumPy. It is one directional, ma'am.
Okay. So you worked on credit risk analysis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me what you have done in that project.
Probably,
What libraries you have used, and tell me step by step what you have done in that project and what that project is about.
ma'am. First of all, we took the raw data set of housing finance company. Uh, for we have built a model for the company to automate the efficiency of the. I mean, it's basically for checking uh, the customer to give we approve loan or not. So it is basically on that. So after that, we imported required libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, sklearn, collection, and warnings. To ignore warnings, we have imported warnings libraries also. After that, we have checked the data, is it in proper way, or there are
What is
outliners or something.
proper way?
Sorry, ma'am.
So you said that you checked if the data is in proper way. So what? How can a data be in proper way? How do you check if the data is in proper way?
uh, Ma'am, we used info method, so it will be shows there are two three methods. We use sns.heatmap, so we do c bar equal to false, so it will
Did you
show
do
the.
data cleaning? Did you
Yes,
do
ma'am,
data?
data clean. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why did you use data cleaning?
So there are mainly missing values and null values present in the data set. So to for the machine learning, we need all proper data. So for this, we have to clean the data. So missing values, we have removed missing values, and uh, there are some null values and outliners. So we have corrected the null values using some specific methods with fill in and something else.
Something else. Okay. So what if I don't remove the null values? Okay. Suppose I'm not filling out the null values. I'm not deleting records that does not have proper entries. Can I apply machine learning algorithm on that?
No, ma'am. It the accuracy of the machine learning will be affected by this.
But you
So
will be able to apply
yes, ma'am.
algorithm on that.
Yes, ma'am. We can able to apply, but the accuracy of the model it will decrease.
Okay, so if you have null values in your data set, then you won't be able to apply machine learning algorithm on it. Right? Is that correct?
No, ma'am. We can apply, but the accuracy of the model will be decrease.
Okay, fine. So which learning algorithm you have applied on credit risk analysis?
That is KNN algorithm.
Okay, what is KNN algorithm?
It is K nearest neighbor algorithm is basically for supervised machine learning.
Okay, but how does it work? KNN algorithm, how does it work?
It's basically uh, basically attach the nearest neighbor elements, like point wise. It connects nearest elements.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you, Prajwal. And
Okay,
you need to work on your skills, okay? Python, NumPy, Pandas, SQL. You need to work on all of these,
okay, sure.
okay? You need
Okay,
to
ma'am.
prepare a bit more,
Okay, ma'am. Fine.
okay?
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you,
okay,
Prajwal.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Simon. Good afternoon.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yes, Simon. So, are you a PhD student or you have completed? Okay, you have completed your PhD.
Ma'am, I'm a PhD student. I have completed my PhD.
Just give me a brief introduction of you.
Okay, so starting with my education qualification, so I have completed my bachelor's in electronics engineering from Ramdev Baba College of Engineering with 75 percentage, and then from the same college in 2013, I've completed my bachelor's, and in the same year, I have taken admission in MTech in VLSI design. So I completed my MTech in 2015 with a CGPA of 9.21. And then on, in the same year, 2015, I had registered for my PhD. So I have successfully defended my PhD in the year 2019, December 2019. And my
That's great.
PhD my PhD work was mainly focused on image processing and security. So I had mostly dealt with MATLAB and grayscale and colored images as well. And then on, I was with personal life. I was on a maternity leave for 1.5 years, and then on, I went on to join an engineering college, SPJIT in Nagpur itself, and then later on, Ramdev Baba College. In Nagpur as well. And I had internship. I have done a short internship in my MTech in Godrej and Boys company, Mumbai, Vikroli. So there I was mainly involved in development of a video door phone. So my work has mainly been on the hardware side in that project. And later on in this year, I had done a course in data analytics from Python Academy in Nagpur. And that's it about myself.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start with Python and then we'll proceed with other things that you have learned in your data analytics. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me if I want to remove white spaces from a string from left side, what will I use to remove the white spaces from a string from the left side, leading white spaces?
Uh, Leading white spaces. Mm, I can just split at white spaces, the string at white spaces, then I can concatenate it again or join them again without a space. So that can be done.
No, but it will remove all the white spaces from the string, right? I just
Yes.
want to remove the white space that is at the starting of a string. That only
Okay.
that I want to remove. Then what can I do? I can use else strip function.
Yeah, else strip function. Yes, ma'am. That can remove the white spaces from the leading white spaces.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Okay. What is the difference between append and extend?
Ma'am, append. Usually when you have to append a single value at a time, so we use append. Okay, so that can be used in a loop, white spaces, or a single statement. But when we have to append a complete list in front of a list, so we can use extend method, or a tuple in front of a list, so we can use the extend method.
Okay, fine. Can you tell me the difference between pickling and unpickling and where it is
Basically,
used?
okay, so starting with the definition, so pickling is basically when we have to convert a Python object into mm, a byte size or a byte string. Okay, so that is also known as when we that is used when we have to write the Python object into a disk. Okay, and unpickling is just the reverse of it. So when we have to convert a Python object to a bite-sized string, it is also known as serializing, and the inverse is unpickling.
Okay, fine. Okay. Can you create an empty tuple?
Empty tuple. Uh, I No, we cannot create an empty tuple.
Okay. So have you worked on functions?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, why do we use functions in Python?
Function basically provides ease of programming. Basically, because when something is repeatedly, some task or some small part in a bigger, we can say, project or something, we are repeatedly performing that same task. So function basically provide the ease with that. Instead of writing the same thing repeatedly, it is better to write functions, and we can call it, and mainly we can call it in different modules and scripts as well. So that is why we use functions.
Okay. So now if I want to give means we when we call a function we gives arguments, right? So when I'm defining a function, if I want to pass the argument, so in what manner I can pass the argument? If I'm writing like defining function a equals to 5 comma b, okay, let me write it here and just tell me which one of this is a right way to write a function or to give or to pass a argument. Can you see these two statements in the meeting chat?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so tell me which one of this is a correct way to pass an argument while creating a function. Default values.
Ma'am, mostly we write the default values, the keyword arguments before, and the positional arguments then follow them. So just to avoid confusion.
Okay, fine. Uh, tell me the use of time delta class? We are in
Sorry,
date time,
ma'am.
right? Have you worked on date time module?
Not as such, ma'am. Not daytime module.
Okay. So if I want to get current date, I want to get today's date. Do you know how can I get today's date?
And ma'am, I'm aware that there is a daytime module, but I haven't worked with current date as such.
Okay.
No,
Have you worked with OS module?
no, ma'am. OS module.
Okay. What about file handling? Have you worked on file handling?
Yes, I have done file handling,
Okay.
reading and
So
writing from file.
okay, fine. So explain the use of with statement and how it will be the syntax of it. Have you used with statement while using file handling?
No, ma'am. Which statement I have used mostly just for reading and writing or appending in files. Which statement uh, I'm not aware of.
Okay. So, do you know, like whenever we open a file, we have to close that file, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, there will be many pointers,
Yes.
right?
Pointers. Yeah.
So sometimes we might forget to close that file. Okay. So
Hmm.
to avoid that mistake, we can use the with statement. Okay. So I
Okay.
want after the interview, I want you to search about the with statement.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
What is the difference between break, continue, and pass?
Break is usually when we achieve a certain condition in if else statement. So if we want to break out of that loop, so it directly use the break statement. So it will directly loop out from the current loop. And then if we want to avoid a particular condition, so we use and we want to continue with the loop, so we use the continue statement, so it will break out of the loop, but it will continue with the other iteration. And mostly past statement is when we use when we are designing a particular complete program. So if we want to use like functions or something, and we are developing it, so we can use functions, and we are yet to develop multiple functions, so we can use pass, so that it just ignores if we want to write a single statement, so that it ignores the function, and we can check the functionality of other statements that we or program that we have written. So past statements is used in that format.
Okay. Have you worked on exception handling?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so explain it to me if I'm using try and finally clause. So, what will be in the try block and what will be in the finally block?
Basically, in the try block, the statements or the function in which we are raising or an exception, or by default an exception can occur, like any exception, value error or something, so that can occur. So that statement we write in the try block. For suppose we are just writing a simple statement, a equal to b divided by c. So if we want to check whether c is not c should not be 0, so that will raise a 0 by divide by 0 error. So that we can write in the except block. So that's the try block. And in the finally block, so mostly when we deal with like files and all such kind of things. So for example, if the file is open in the try block, and the exception is raised, and the except block will execute. But we have in the except block, if the file is not closed, so finally is a block where whether the exception occurs or not or it doesn't occur, so the finally block will execute. So it is like when we have to close up after things that where the error occurs in the try block, so we use the finally block, because in such kind of thing we can write the final things that can be taken care of.
Like if we haven't closed the file that we have opened and the error has occurred, so we can just close the file, and other such things can be done in the finally block, because even if the error occurs or it doesn't occurs, it will definitely execute it.
Right, correct. Mm, okay, so let's start with object-oriented programming. Can you tell me what is the difference between, means what is classes and what is objects?
Ma'am, basically objects are when we have things or variables that are very much connected. So we deal with object-oriented programming, and the classes are a way of handling these objects. So whatever variables or whatever attributes are linked together, we can use a class to define or to have them together.
Okay. Have you worked on SQL?
Yes, ma'am.
What is primary key? What is foreign key?
So primary key is a way of identifying a unique row. So if we want a particular row to be identified with a particular column in a table, so that is a primary key. So for example, if there are employees, so employee ID is there, then name, age, salary, position. So the the name can be similar, there can be person with similar name, age, and some salaries also, but the employee ID can identify the particular person uniquely. So that is a primary key. And when primary key is used to identify another in another table or database, so that is a foreign key.
Uh, what is NumPy?
What is numpy?
Why do we use NumPy?
Basically it is used for easing the arithmetic and the we can say statistical and the data analytics point of view. If we see the statistics needed and the model requirement or the models needed, so the this package in that is an add-on on Python provides a ease to perform that. So it has methods, attributes that can be easily used to do the analysis part or statistical part.
Okay. So there are attributes of NDRA, right? So do you know what is the use of flags like NumPy dot flags? What will
NumPy dot flag.
okay?
Yeah, so flags are basically they have certain values, or we can say they provide uh, certain state of the NDRA. So whether it's writable, not writable, if you have to perform, common one used is writable. So if we have to suppose make a for the user, if or some other programmer, we have to use. Make the NDRA not writable, so we can make it false or true. So depending on that, such other states are available in the flags, which we can use to define the NDRA.
Do you know what is fancy indexing?
Fancy indexing in series or such kind of thing is basically when we do not want a slice. So if we want different rows, like suppose there are 10 rows, we want the second, fifth, the seventh, so we can use fancy indexing that will give that particular rows instead of the slicing or selection.
Okay. Fine. So you have worked on credit risk analysis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me how what steps you followed to work on that project? And first of all, what was the project about? First of all, tell me what was the project about, what you had to do, and what steps you followed to complete that project.
Okay, so the objective of the project was to decide whether a person inquiring about or who has inquired about a loan should be given a loan or not. So there are various factors that are available, or we can say various features that are available for that thing. Is that basically whether the salary, then what kind of work he is doing, and then what. Uh, uh, Whether he has a previous loan, what is his bank last bank details, and such kind of things, so that while making the decision, so we are considering these factors. Okay, so then first of all was understanding. So we have to understand the project. After that, we are collecting the data. So the data was it was taken from the what was given from the academy. So where I have completed it. So the data was achieved from there, and after that, the first step whenever we are having any data and working with data is to clean the data, in the sense that whatever. Missing data, duplicates, or whatever needed data is there should be present. So if there is a missing data, how to handle it? Suppose if it is not relevant with respect to the prediction, so we can remove it. If it is required with respect to the model prediction, so we have to either fill in the data or we have to collect it again. So filling data as to seeing the we can use various statistical methods, the usual statistical methods like mean, median, or the highest, the most used, the most available data, that is the mode. So the mostly occurring value. From that we can fill the data or we can delete it depending on that. So cleaning of the data, and then depending on the prediction. So that was the prediction was a binary one, that is whether the loan should be given, yes or no. So that is basically a binary classification we had to make. So from that, the from the given data, it was split in. Then the model was created. That is, it was split in test and training data, and from the training data, whichever model was created using the binary classification, then we had to we had tested in on testing data, and from there on we achieved the accuracy, and we had used hyperparameter tuning, so that the best parameter for the model is selected, and based on that we got an accuracy of around 89%. So then we decided on whether uh, the loan should be given or not.
Okay. Have you used crosstab during this project?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is it used?
Crosstab is basically when we have to see a number, the occurrences between two different columns. So whether a person is female and he has taken loan, as for example, the sex of the inquiry, the person, and the whether he has taken loan or not. So if we have to fill certain rows, missing rows, so we can use crosstab so that we can get an actual idea of the numbers. So if the person has what is the sex of the person, and what is whether he has taken loan, so we get from getting that, if she is a female and yes taken note, so we can get that many columns, that many rows, we can get that number.
You mean
And
are
if
we basically deciding that are these if we are deciding, okay, if this person is married or not, and if they have a credit history or not, so we are just cross checking if these two things are related or not, right?
related or not, yes.
Okay. So your answer should be precise to that. If we are checking
Okay,
if there is a relation between these two.
relation between.
Okay. So what do you applied? A regression model or a classification model?
We had applied a regression model.
Okay. And which machine learning algorithm you applied?
We had applied a
So you sure you applied regression model? When do you use regression model and when do you use classification?
Regression, sorry, ma'am. We had actually applied regression is used when we have to predict some values, but during classification, we use the classification method. So we had applied a KNN classifier.
Okay. Uh, Thank you, Serena. You have given pretty much correct answers, but I can see that you are not familiar with few modules. Okay, so you just have to work on that, and yes, that's it from my side.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello.